opportunities to very safely get the shots that you need. So I'm going to be looking at red team, whoever that is that spawns in to make the first move for that map control. Otherwise, you're kind of giving up that blue team options and flexibility for them to kind of pick somebody off, get you to make a mistake, and then kind of take over from there.
Good news is you won't have to wait too long. Players are already loading in, picking their classes, getting their marksmans ready, making sure their scope is clean and ready to go. I'm excited, Jacob. We'll see if the aggression comes through. This is one of the less aggressive modes, although compared to Panther, Shallot is a bit more aggressive in terms of capture the flag, but both of them are a little bit more passive than Hardpoint and Keeper. So we'll see how it plays out. But seeing how the XSET versus Dragons match went out on capture the flag, Shallot, it was incredibly aggressive. So Sayun starting off strong here on the red team, pushing through rocks.
Yeah, like I said, red team rocks pull. You do have a little bit of that advantage. Dynamite over the top, but he gets returned fire onto one. Dirt goes in by himself. Sayun just trying to alleviate some of that pressure, but Kiro gets credit for both of those eliminations. And now that early pull control is going to go on over to Heroic.
PhD goes down as well. Kiro with a third as he gets closer and closer to that point. Regroup now is going to come through. One last fight is all it's going to take for Heroic to be able to get this flag.
And they're pushing up. Just another round of those eliminations. You got Kurtz waiting towards anybody to push on the flag. He has both the bubble and the grenade still in his inventory, but Thomas is going to be the first one. But he's also the same one that goes down. Hellfire trying to use it as a distraction. Go in, grab the flag. Eliminations going the way of Heroic up until then. Every player gets chopped down. The flag gets returned, and W7m has a chance to take some map control.
Good effort from Heroic. They grabbed the flag, just weren't able to bring it far enough, but it is a good start. The pressure is currently on W7m. Heroic are continuing to apply that as Sayun has been cracked here. Thomas looking to finish it off, but he's got to be careful. His teammate there to back him up. Sayun now continuing to push on forwards.
Trading back and forth. Hellfire just making sure to clean up his side of the map before he looks elsewhere. W7m basically has to start from scratch as Fordoxy sneaks all the way to the other end of that tunnel, gets the elimination, and you see the focus that he's putting on him. Kiro is there to alleviate some of the pressure, but everybody from W7m turned around to try to deal with him, and now the pressure is on. Great eliminations here from Heroic will open up a flag opportunity.
Shot blocked by the shield bubble, incredibly placed. Timing, the chemistry from Heroic is showing as they pick up that flag alongside, I believe, a whole squad wipe, and Hellfire now should have enough time to bring this one home.
Yeah, just kind of as easy as it goes there for Hellfire. They were able to push up, force the members of W7m into a defensive position that didn't favor them, and the bubble shield just blocking off the whole path, allowing for a free grab. But Fordoxy again being a nuisance towards the backside, once more turning those members of W7m around. And even if you go down, those are the seconds that I'm talking about that you need to buy your team.
Hellfire now going for a quick fight, unable to be on the winning end though, as this could be an option for W7m to push up a little bit more as they get closer and closer to Heroic side of the map. Snipe is not going to get connected by Fordoxy, who's playing marksman this time around.
A little bit of a switch up. We thought it was going to be Thomas, but kind of sticking to what the tried and true for that roster. Thomas towards the outside. He gets taken down by multiple members of W7m, but you see they don't have the numbers just yet. They have to wait for their team, and as soon as they try to make the move, they get split up. Sayun versus Kiro. He ends up taking him down yet again. Back to start. Do not pass go. Do not collect $200 as Heroic once again on the defensive end, stopping anything thrown at him.
Hero now going to continue on forwards here, waiting for a little bit of a regroup as he listens for footsteps, tries to see if there's any opening. For Doxy though, missing that initial snipe, but they do get the elimination, and now they can continue going towards the flag.
No fires there on the other side. Try to alleviate the pressure, take the focus. He gets that first elim, but Frosty is there along with Kurt. So they're going to wait for every member of Heroic to spawn up, get in position, and have a full team effort here instead of just trying to trickle in by two. Their teammates there. They got the green light. They're going to grab that flag in. Hellfire's going to be able to get it out. Fordoxy's even still alive, as long with Hero and Heroic, and every single member, even in a prolonged fight like this, they still end up winning. There is a full-on squad wipe and another capture by Heroic.
Such a great job of applying that pressure while Hellfire just sneaks his way out to capture that flag, putting them at 2-0 with just 50 seconds left. It is incredibly in Heroic's favor. All they kind of do is just have to close it out here.
40 seconds left. barring any miracles, should be a 2-0 half. It does look like W7m are not giving up just yet. Frosty's going to get taken down, though. Thomas alleviating some of that pressure along with Hellfire. And Kiro as well. 3 members down and out. PH Sin's going to be by himself. 30 seconds left. And with him falling, that's going to be it for W7m esports and their chances to capture a flag here in this half. But it might not be the case for Heroic. They still might have one more left in the tank.
Frosty now looking to see what he can find here as the flag has been recuperated, but just 10 seconds left now. It's going to be difficult for either team to pick up a flag and bring it home here. Looks like the half is going to end 2-0 for Heroic.
And now 2-0, and in the fashion that happened, it didn't even look like Heroic was really contested too much. They might have got denied a few opportunities when they were deep into the base, but majority of that looked good and full control over Heroic. Anytime it looked like W7m were on their side of the map, it was kind of players like Fordoxy, players like Hero that played back into the defensive side. They got the eliminations and then they pushed forward. And then both times when the flag was grabbed, it was a bubble shield. It was Hellfire that went in to get the touch and bring it all the way back.
Quickly enough, we will start round 2 now. It's all about W7m not only trying to get 2 caps here, but even if they want to win OT, they're going to have to get the first flag capture. As now, quick elim onto Kiro is going to allow them to push up a bit. This could be an opportunity.
They need 3 flag captures overall in this game. Kurtz is going to get the first one out, but it's not going to go far. Gets stuck at the house windows. Might even get relayed on out. Sayun just trying to make a play. Lands the snipe, but unfortunately 2v1. Numbers not on your side. Explosions happening. Great bubble shield coming out from Thomas, but he's not going to be able to save himself from that one. But luckily, you have 2 more teammates. One of them in Fordoxy, able to clean up that elimination and keep it rolling for Heroic.
Yeah, they were kind of just going in one by one. It wasn't like a calculated team effort there at the end. It was just try and grab the flag that keeps getting dropped. So now they're going to have to regroup and do more of a calculated approach to this attack. But Fordoxy does not want to let that happen. He's already picked up 1, gets the snipe for the second. And now the push is on Heroic's side.
And basically going coast to coast, knowing where the push is going to come from. Gets another elimination with a little bit of help. Tries to land a big shot, but goes down. But you can kind of see Heroic instantly spawns up most of those members that just fall. They're in position, knowing and reading where this play is going to come from.
Looking for the snipe, trying to get an angle. Nice shot, gonna be connected by Sayun. Kiro quickly enough gonna turn around towards Frosty, but Frosty gets that elim. And now it's all up to Kurtz.
Yeah, Kurtz is going ahead and forcing a couple players of Heroic to have to deal with him, which opens up opportunity and time elsewhere on the map. But Fordoxy is not missing right now. Another body shot leading to elimination, alleviating the pressure straight forward through that pool side of the map. And with Sayun going down, all of the pressure on the map is going to be alleviated for a quick moment.
Nice shots coming through. Heroic are looking like heroes right now, basically untouchable. 2 minutes and 50 seconds left as Sayun now gets closer and closer to the flag once again. But with Kiro close by, they are going to take that 1v1. Snipe comes through, but it's not going to be enough.
Minutes, about 30 plus seconds left here in round number 2. W7m needs back-to-back-to-back flag captures. 2 of them at the bare minimum in regulation time. And again, they are just going to get stopped short of any sort of success. And that's going to allow for Heroic, once again, every single time they get a couple of those eliminations, they immediately beeline to the middle of the map. But Hellfire, Kiro, they get shut down. Sayun trying to make a play, but he gets taken down by Thomas in the house again.
Just 70 HP now, recuperated back to 100. Thomas just playing that right-hand peek perfectly, not allowing any player from W7m to get close. But now the push comes through. 2 players tunnel, 2 players rocks. Can they make something happen?
Yeah, Frosty floating around. He has to be careful, though, because they do know exactly where he's at. Those audio visuals giving up a lot of information. See him staggering around. Sayun was trying to go from the outside flank. Frosty a little late to help on that side of the map, and he's just scrambling around. Gets taken down by Hellfire as well. It just looks like W7m is just kind of overextending, and the players that are able to help don't know which player to help, and then they kind of all fall because of it.
Yeah, and now Heroic know that they already have a 2 flag lead, so they don't have to play overly aggressive. It's kind of just staying defensive, making sure that W7m does not get a flag capture here, and they just continue getting elim after elim and doing a great job with exactly that.
About 70 seconds here. W7m needs consecutive flag captures, and they're running out of time to do it. Heroic once again pushing up. You see they're not turtling back. They know the situation. They don't want to give up free map control over to W7m unless they have to reposition. Fordoxy knows that he has the help of Kiro, waiting for a push just like this. First elimination is going to be the easiest. A couple more trying to float their way in, but Fordoxy finds him yet again. Another squad wipe for Heroic.
Now the push actually might just come through. They were deciding to play it a bit slower, but this time around now they've had so much opportunity to get closer and closer. They're not going to give up on that chance as Frosty now tries to stop it. Unfortunately, the grenade is not going to go his way as now he's almost exploded himself. Gets taken out. Thomas HD continues. Sayun on the right-hand peak going to get the shot as they continue pushing forwards.
Yeah, 20 seconds left. That's just simply not enough time here for W7m esports. You got to give it up to Heroic. They got their early flag captures, and then from there, they were just kind of able to go toe-to-toe, both on the offense and defensive side of that flag. Heroic had an answer for every single thing underneath their sleeve, and with the map over, they're going to get a 1-0 lead, but they know the job isn't done just yet. Not until you win those 3 maps, so they're prepared to go the long haul.
They are definitely ready. I think that was the most domination we've seen from a team on Capture the Flag. So we'll see if they can keep that one going for a hard point. But so far, it's looking incredibly strong for Heroic.
Yeah, it just seems again, you can kind of see almost every one of those turns. Kurtz goes in. He's able to kind of grid them off, but it was just multiple times in that same position. Heroic was able to kind of push onto the flag. A well-timed bubble shield and well-timed elimination. Hellfire was able to get that flag out and gone. And I would say even more times than 2 because a couple of those W7m was lucky enough to return, so it could have been worse.
It definitely could have been worse. You can see some of the snipes that Sayun was connecting though back to back. I think, to be fair, W7m might perform a little bit better on hardpoint as they can play a bit more aggressive in that sense, but at the same time, with the amount of prep and strategy that's went into Heroic's playstyle, it's going to be really difficult to overthrow them.
Yeah, it really is. Especially you can kind of see that everybody here is playing on fire. And then now we're going on over to the next map. Like I said, it's going to be Hardpoint on Panther. And it's a lot of familiarity for a team like Heroic, you know, practicing on these first 2 maps for a long time. You know, when it was in the best of 3 series, the Capture the Flag was played twice. And then you enter in Keeper again. They got a lot of practice on Keeper. So the first 3 maps of the cycle is kind of that danger zone that I'm talking about. For a team like W7m esports, maybe you have to throw in the different King of the Hills, the different Capture the Flags to kind of throw your opponent off balance. And then you kind of go back to that later if you do or manage somehow to get a lead in the series overall. But right now, I just think Heroic is kind of just autopilot, business as usual.
Yeah, honestly, they did not have a single trouble in the last match. They kind of just like played all out to get those 2 flag captures. But once they had it, it was just more on don't do anything too risky. Play consistent, make sure they don't get anywhere near our flag, and just close it out with a 2-point lead. Executed perfectly. Next up is going to be Hardpoint on Panther. So we know how Control ends up working there. It's all about keeping that momentum, staying ahead once those next points appear, making sure you're able to hit your shots, play aggressive when you need to. So if we're talking about hitting shots, I think Heroic's going to be the team to land them.
I'm going to go ahead and play devil's advocate, give the silver lining real here for W7m, is they did have moments where they were able to slay out the players of Heroic, get them off their side of the map, and even at times get close to the Heroic base to try to go ahead and get a flag capture out. Now this going on over to Hardpoint Panther, it is a more elimination heavy game. I'm just kind of thinking if W7m could start to get into a flow of things very, very early on, start to build that momentum in an elimination heavy game, it might suit them a little bit more than Capture the Flag that has a little bit more strategy, slowdowns, and points like that.
Yeah, I mean, to give them the benefit of the doubt, the good part of W7m is they were all very similar in terms of elimination. I mean, P18 had 13, Frosty 12, Sayun 13, Kurtz 13. Almost everybody had 13 eliminations except for Frosty that had 12. But on the other end, Heroic did have significantly more. Fordoxy with 21, Thomas HD with 18, Kiro with 17, Hellfire with 15. So They were dominant in terms of eliminations, but at the same time, they were winning as well. So we'll have to see kind of how it plays out on hardpoint. I do still think that anything can happen.
Yeah, I do as well. Just kind of looking at the damage, though, it's kind of like relatively even. A lot of the guys on W7M were helping each other out to the best of their ability, but all it takes is one person to lose the fight, and then the mismatch that we saw from Heroic being able to crash down, finish a lot of the fights as a team rather than just taking individual battles. And even them on their side of things, relatively close to the damage. For Doxy, though, 4,700 for his team, 21 eliminations that you spoke about a 4.0 elimination, assists, damage dealt ratio, all of that. So these guys are actually doing pretty well on both sides. I just need to see W7M strike early, build that confidence early, and shut down Heroic's potential.
Well, you don't have to wait too long because hardpoint is already starting off strong, and with a quick shot from Fordoxy, showing why he's currently on marksman. The push is going to continue through full-on aggression. It is going to get stopped, though, by PA Zin and Kurtz, who are going to pick up 2 eliminations. And the first team that gets on the point looks like is going to be W7M.
You just got to come out with a whole new fire. Let Heroic know we're not going to just roll over that easy. But Fordoxy answers back, taking out Sayun. Fordoxy just getting a couple extra help, but flank towards the outside is going to slow that one down, keeping W7M in full control. They have the statue as well. Thomas is doing what he can to get some information for his team, but you can see without his backup, there's only so much he can do. He has to wait for the timing to come in, and as soon as he sees Fordoxy, he tries to go and gets taken out because of it.
Good news for W7M. They've already gotten 40 points, almost holding on to this hold. First point of the map. Thomas HD now waiting for his team to get back in the play as Sayun's looking for a snipe. Frosty now has to be careful, though, as shots come through various angles. Sayun goes down, P8 Zin goes down, Frosty goes down. It's all up to Kurtz now. Kurtz versus the world as he goes down to Hellfire, but they secured the whole hard point. 55 points as we go on to P2.
Yeah, 55 uncontested points is going to be impressive, especially now that they got the spawn on their side for the next hill. Hellfire is going to go down. Thomas is going to follow. Kiro's doing what he can to try to even the tides along with Fordoxy, but there's just too many members of W7M, especially Sayun with that marksman, try to take him out, but just the members of Heroic just not giving up on that play. They continue to trickle in one by one, fresh off the respawn, and they find success.
Good news for W7M is they should be respawning at a similar time. It's all up to PH Sin, but he goes down right after he gets that elimination. Thomas follows shortly after as Frosty gets knocked out. Kurtz being left alone. Fordoxy is going to be the one to clean him up, and now Hellfire is back in play, but Sayun knocked out one. Now Hellfire, it's all up to him in the 2v1. Sayun misses his snipe, but he still gets that elimination.
That's big right now for W7M. Because even though Heroic is able to get some time, they kept the majority of it away, and even getting this scrap time that is going to be left. But on rotation to P3 across the map, where Hellfire looks like he's already positioned, has backup with Thomas HD, and the rest of the team does have control of the spawn.
This is where they have a potential for that comeback. It is first with 250 points, 84 for W7M, about 30 for Heroic right now. They were the first ones on this third point, but the first push is going to come in from the Brazilian team, W7M. They get that initial elimination. Hellfire fights back, though, as now it's looking like a pretty even fight. PH Zin goes down. Fordoxy with that elimination, and it looks like they'll keep on holding.
Now hold down P3 on the Lambo, using it for cover. They know a couple players are going to push back towards this bar side, and Fordoxy's trying to aim that marksman, catch him off guard before they see him. Thomas gets one. He goes down. The trades continue to favor Heroic. Frosty tries to make that last-ditch effort as Hellfire holds on tough. The last player standing throughout all that fighting.
Looks like both teams are going to get back into play at the same time. It's a 3v3 fight for this fourth point, but now it looks like it's a grouped up 4v4. This means a lot here. Both teams now similar in terms of points. It's all about who is going to be able to capture this point first.
Yeah, Heroic did a good job of climbing back into this one with a good lead for W7M early. And this is exactly what I was talking about. W7M has to win the early game fights because we know the potential for Heroic to climb back into this series, into this game is huge, especially with plays like that. Fordoxy's able to get one, lands another shot back to back from Fordoxy again. And this is what I was scared of for W7M.
Fordoxy should not be winning these fights. advantage at all, but he still picks up 2, holds it on strong for Heroic, and gets the comeback to now tie up with W7m for Doxy, putting everybody on his back.
17 eliminations so far. Going on over to the 4th hill, which is going to be across the map. There's a lot of cover there, and it does look like W7m Frosty is going to be the first player to try to hold down position, especially if he gets an elimination onto Kiro. Gets another one onto Ferdoxy with the help of his teammates, but Ferdoxy tries to answer back. He goes down. W7m able to hold on to the early portions of this hill.
This is big. They got the initial capture. All players are up and healthy now. They even got some free pickings off the start, so this is going to give them a little bit of time to breathe, to base up, to get their defense going. And with the cracks coming through onto Thomas, onto Ferdoxy, they have that HP advantage, but Sayun goes down. Kurtz goes down as well. Frosty follows shortly after, and PHZin is the last player standing.
Now, this is a good chunk of time, though, for W7m. About 30 seconds, half the possible hill time here, which means Heroic might try to make one last-ditch effort, one more stop into this hill, and PHZin's going to be the only real hero trying to hold down the fort. Sayun is late, but he's able to at least get some time back onto the hill. 10 seconds left. It will switch as multiple members of Heroic are falling on this rotation.
Gonna go back to point 1 where it all started off in this hard point on Panther. Frosty is gonna go down, and it looks like Heroic will be the initial ones to capture this point, but they could change quickly as Kurtz is going for the flank. Hero trying to stay covered.
Wow. Thomas showing almost no respect, no mercy on his opponents right there. He did have the help of Kiro, and he's trying to help Kiro back, but he just took too much damage early on. They're both going to fall. That opens up a little opportunity for W7m, but a little ill-advised for Sayun to go by himself. Luckily for him, Frosty and the rest of the squad are there just in the nick of time to continue to contest this hill and keep their score moving.
Nice EMP from Frosty, canceling out that shield bubble, but Ferdoxy going right on in, looking to close it out with PHZin. Does not connect the shot, but his teammate is going to be able to close it out. This is an incredibly close match. Both teams at around 150 points. It's first to 250. 100 more points is all they need.
They're so close. Both of these teams are so close to that margin of victory. This is kind of where the lead is changing hands back and forth, back and forth. Whoever starts to getting that consistency late in the game will end up on top. And that's why we say it's not how you start, it is how you finish. And right now, it does look like W7m are still not going down without a fight, even with a couple players in a row getting eliminations and pushing forward into the hill. Thomas, Ferdoxy is able to get a couple eliminations, and the tides have turned here in this second hill.
Yeah, it looks like Heroic picked it up, even though W7m had the initial push. Now the good news is they've had time to regroup. The full push from W7m is going to come through. But as quickly as that push came through, Frosty's now going to look for nice side angles onto his opponents rotating in. W7 once again taking control. This is night and day from the capture the flag round we saw. Yeah,
this is the kind of life we needed to see out of W7m, but still finding ways on the side of Heroic to bleed into the hill, steal some of that time back. About 3 seconds of differential before these two, and it's going to be even less than that after this. The next hill moving on over, and it's Hellfire. Both times we've went over to P3, Heroic has had Hellfire on that hill, getting the position for their team early.
This is huge for Heroic because Sayun has already been cracked. He has no shield onto him, so not only do they not have the positional advantage, they didn't have the HP advantage, but they do not care. W7m takes the push, takes the point, and huge snipe onto Hellfire to continue with their lead.
Almost close to that 200-point mark as Kiro's moving up. He's able to get that elimination. Frosty gets 2, though. He's trying to even the tides. Kurtz, the backside of the zone, immediately gets jumped on by 2 members of Heroic. And because of the spread fights around the map, Heroic will be able to drain the rest of this time down. They are already over 200 points parked, and now W7m is going to start to feel desperate for these hills.
Yeah, the pressure now on W7m's shoulders is getting heavier and heavier. Just 5 more seconds left, though, till the next point. It can all come down to this. It looks like it's going to be a tie going into this point, so it really just depends on who's going to be able to start it off.
Yeah, Rogue does have the back spawn, full area towards the outside, but they're not able to get in the hill just yet, and that's going to make it infinitely harder. With Frosty getting that first elimination on the Kiro, Ferdoxy's going to fall, but it is going to be a 2-for-2 trade, but it is looking like Hellfire, and the rest of Heroic are going to stand tall, and they have a win condition here on this hill.
If they can hold on, this could be the end for Heroic. This is a crucial match, but Kurtz does not want to make it easy for them. PH in with the flank as well. Kiro goes down, and now W7M have taken this point.
Yeah, but I don't think they could win. There's just not enough time. Maybe it's exactly enough time. This might be exactly enough time for W7m esports to win this game. Heroic just needs a little contest, a little stoppage on that hill, and that one is going to come to fruition. They cannot win on the other side. They can get about 247 points for Heroic. They can get close, but they won't be able to finish.
Now it's the deciding factor. Does W7M continue this push, or do they just 100% claim the next point? I already see Frosty disengaging. PHE going for the shots. It was actually Seyun that took capture of this point with now just 2 seconds left. It's a battle for the 5th point, and Frosty is the first one there.
Only a few seconds like you're talking about. Hero is just trying to open up that opportunity. Bubble shield going down. EMP to break it. Nobody's in the hill just yet, so they want to force Heroic in to try to get those eliminations, but Hellfire goes more than just in. He takes him out, but W7M with the close respawn, they answer back quickly.
Is it enough? The push comes through. There's the final push for Heroic. They need to make something happen. Just a few seconds left until W7M takes it home, and they've done it. You can see the celebration from getting absolutely annihilated on capture the flag to taking home hardpoint. We are now 1-1.
They kept it just close enough. That early lead was a true difference maker for W7M esports because Heroic, they clawed their way back into the game. 55-0 on the first hill. They not only took that point deficit and threw it to the side, they made it a close game. They're even one of the first teams in this matchup to over 200 points, but W7M, the team made of full Brazilian players. They have the heart, they have the passion, and now they have a tied up series.
I'm excited. What a way to close out the hard point. Next up is Keeper, and seeing how close hard point was, both teams know how to play incredibly aggressive, so I wouldn't be surprised if we have an extremely close Keeper match as well.
I just want to see that Keeper, if anybody switches anything up at all. Do we see the no sniper, which we saw both strategies? You know, I believe it was Exceed choosing no sniper. We saw Carmine choosing wood sniper. Ferdoxy is playing lights out right now. Ferdoxy in moments isn't necessarily missing too many shots. He's just not getting the opportunities to hit the shots that he's good at. And even here, late in the game, I thought it was going to be a nice opportunity for Rogue to pick up a couple eliminations, but a mad scramble from W7M in the ending portions of that game stopped them from taking Hill 4 and allowed them to take Hill 5 right after.
Put a smile on my face. The fist bumps, the coach dabbing up his teammate. You know that they are locked in for this Keeper match. The momentum is going to be for W7M now. They have that confidence from taking home the hard point, but there was also so much domination from Heroic on CTF that I think mental-wise, it should be pretty close to an even playing field. We are 1-1 in the series, but that was a pretty tough loss for Heroic there, being so close.
I'm just trying to think, a team like Heroic on one side of things, I feel like have many opportunities to where they've been down before in series, been down by points on leaderboards, and they've been able to kind of answer back, have a phenomenal game, and kind of burst back into it. But W7M, I feel like they need to be able to kind of continue this momentum, continue to build that confidence, you know what I mean? And start to kind of push it further. They had a big slaying game. Unlike Capture the Flag, where those eliminations can only lead you so far, Keeper's another one of those modes to where if you're able to keep things going with eliminations, and start to rotate that key away, we can see the same scenario. We could possibly see W7M esports up 2-1 over Heroic.
I don't know, Jacob. I'm getting locked in here myself. I'm excited to see how this next one plays out. As a reminder, we are going into the Keeper game mode. It's kind of similar in a sense to Hardpoint, where you just want to take hold of this key card that you can walk around with. It does give you a movement debuff, so you will walk slower. You get a point per second, first to 150 points. There's 2 rounds, so I'm excited to see who's going to be able to take it home. Players already loading in. You can see getting ready for this match. It is going to be on a different map. It's on Taverna Zoni. So new map, new mode. Let's see who takes it.
Yeah, we've seen coming a few power positions. One, that bell tower. Another one towards the basement on this map. Just trying to see if you can kind of actually move the key over into those spots, because it's not always easy once you have the key and then you kind of get stopped, you kind of struggle, and you kind of just got to play with the position that you can get. But if these guys can get it on over towards that basement, if they can get it on over towards that tower, they're going to be able to kind of set up and get a long stretch of points because of it.
I'd like to see it happen. Only time will tell, though, as now in any second the players will start their rush, their push towards that initial key. And there are kind of these I don't know what to call them, these points of interest on this map where players tend to kind of move themselves towards when they do have this key. There's a basement, there's the edge of the kind of rocky mountain. So we'll see if players kind of go to these popular areas to play defensive from, or if they just kind of do a ring around the rosy throughout the whole map once they do secure that initial key card. But nice EMPs coming through right into Thomas HD. Catch as Kiro picks up another, but Frosty looks like might be able to just clean this one up and get that first key.
Yeah, he got the key, got the elim, and is quickly moving on over towards his teammates. Trying to see where they're going to bunker down at. They're instantly pulling it towards the back. A couple players fresh off the respawn, though, for Heroic are going to chain together a few eliminations, so Frosty has to be careful. You know the reinforcements are coming. Him versus Hellfire. He's able to get one. Tries to go back-to-back onto Kiro, but gets shut down, so the key will change hands.
Has to be careful, though. Sayun's close by, full HP. Kiro is low as he makes the run, trying to group up with Fredoxy. Fredoxy doing a great job of taking out PH Zin, but the hunt is on. They're currently chasing behind him. Sayun and Frosty both got an elimination. Kurt's got an elimination now. Last player is Kiro, and he gets taken out.
And everybody's just kind of jumping around towards that boat, trying to get any position. There's multiple pathways that you can move in and around from here. Sayun's just trying to be very, very careful. He knows they have the key. He knows Heroic has to make the move, and Fredoxy makes the perfect one. 2 eliminations, moves in. Hellfire and Kiro pick up 2 more. That's a full squad wipe, and you see them relaying that key around. Hellfire is going to be the one because he has that infiltrator class. He has an extra speed boost.
He gets the speed nerf, but plus that speed boost is going to bring him back to a decent movement speed, but Hellfire is going to go down after that initial elimination. Kurt's a little far away, is going to have to get closer here, as Heroic still has that key card, getting point by point, continuing to kind of spread that gap as Frosty hits a huge shot to take out Kiro, and it looks like now they are going to be the ones holding onto that key. 3 players grouped up together. If they can stop Thomas here as well, it would be huge.
Yeah, they're moving on over towards that factory, in and around. Sayun goes down. That's the 3-piece from Thomas HD, the key in hand. And like I said, they're taking that tower. They're going to be able to see over a lot of position down that hallway. Everything towards the left, and that's why nobody can sneak around. Not even you, Sayun. Even the frag going out, trying to displace him. Thomas HD not able to clean it up, but at least he's doing his job as he finally takes down Sayun.
Those were huge eliminations by Thomas. Not only did they get the key back, but they were not even close to a player advantage. If Thomas had gotten eliminated there, it would have been so much points for W7m. But now Hellfire doing what he can to stay up. Kiro's going to go down. Hellfire going to fall shortly after. And if they take out Thomas here, now they have a chance to kind of come back. The gap is on to Heroic, 81 points. Will they have enough to catch up?
Definitely a good amount of time left on this clock. Just over 2 minutes left, so it's definitely going to be possible. But Sayun, Frosty, it's in. All 3 members going down in relatively quick succession. Was going to open up Hellfire, and the rest of Heroic continue to not only maintain the lead, but expand it even further. And you see the rotation coming out, the mini-map. W7m gets the far spawn, and Hellfire is just running so far that it's going to be a long time before they even catch him, let alone to get the E-win.
But just like that, Hellfire goes down. Sayun now looking back, takes out Kiro. PHZN has to recuperate that HP. He goes down as well, though. It's going to cause Sayun to start running away. Make your route. Start your marathon, Sayun, as you're getting hunted down.
That's why you're seeing the importance of the infiltrator role being mixed in here. This Fredoxy going for another flank. Able to find some success, drawing attention his way with his teammates picking up the actual eliminations. Distractions may not show up on the scoreboard, but they made just as much as the actual elimination, as PHN still scrambling around. Big flank on the Fredoxy, saving Kurtz and allowing for W7m to take the lead back away from Heroic.
This is exactly what they needed. They were over 40 points behind Heroic, but now have already made the comeback to put them in the lead with that elimination onto Hellfire as well. PHZN and Kurtz picking up some more alongside them. Full squad wipe now for the Brazilian squad. This is massive.
Yeah, even though there's less than 45 seconds left on the clock, W7M still racking up that score line. As sooner or later, it's going to be mathematically impossible for Heroic to win no matter what happens. They just need to be able to hold on to the key that much longer. PH Zin goes down. Heroic with a mad scramble in the last few seconds. There's 30 seconds left on the clock. Every second here on out for Heroic has to be perfect if they want to win round one.
You can see the W7M roster does not want to allow themselves to get picked off, but Frosty, Kurtz, and Seiyun are going to go down. Kiro now trying to do what he can to stay up, inching closer and closer to 134. They don't even have to get to 150. All they have to do is pass W7M to win. Once this timer goes out, 2 seconds, 1 second, 0, 134. Was it a tie?
It looks like it was a 134 apiece, but maybe there was a few fractions of a second difference. That was the closest perfect play from Heroic. They needed every single second. They needed a perfect finish, and Kiro, with the key on his back, grabbed every single second they needed.
I don't even know who takes it there, Jacob. They literally tied from the timer running out. 134 points for both teams. I have never seen that happen before in Keeper. And just like that, we're into the second round.
Just one more second. W7M either needed to hold on to the key or just keep it out of their hands. It was about to be mathematically impossible. And it's little losses like that that is really going to worry me for W7M. Even if they didn't actually lose the round, you had it so far won. And that's where that mental toughness, being able to bounce back from something that you thought was yours.
So close, but so far. As now Heroic going to start off with the lead. Pushed up to 30 points as Seiyun goes on in. Fordoxy gets taken out. Kurtz now is going to pick up that key, but for how long as Thomas HD starts the pursuit, but he gets knocked out. Great job from Kurtz.
It's up to W7M. The tables have been turned. Heroic had to climb back into that last round. This time around, it's up to W7M, which is going to be short-lived attempt. Now it's over 20-point deficit, continuing to climb in favor of Heroic as Seiyun gets spotted out, instantly deleted by Fordoxy. Hellfire rotating that around yet again, making sure that his infiltrator role is utmost importance of their game plan.
Kurtz doing a great job to take out Hellfire. Now going to regroup with Frosty. PHZ finds an elim onto Kiro. Kurtz finds an elim onto Fordoxy. This is exactly what they needed. They're now in one of those prime positions we've talked about before. There's that basement that you have a right-hand peak advantage in most of the angles here. It's a good place to kind of base up, and when you need to make that great escape, you can do exactly that, which is what Kurtz is looking to do here onto Thomas HD. The shots come through, but not enough as Thomas gets that elim.
He's weak. Even though it was kind of a short second where Heroic was able to get the key back under their control, W7M instantly steals it on back, but they have to be careful. Fresh respawn Thomas, he's behind enemy lines, and they see that as a sign. They go, they get the green light, they take that advantage of 2v1 while they do have the time, because that's the last thing you want to do is give Heroic any bit of seconds to try to climb back.
It's incredibly close once again, neck to neck, as Seiyun is going to be taking the lead with this key here, but not by much. How long can he hold on as Kiro's already taken out Kurtz? One of his teammates have gone down, but PH Zin doing a great job to take out Kiro. Frosty's been knocked out, and Hellfire with the flank now could be enough to take out Seiyun.
Yeah, takes him out, grabs the key back into their control. About 20 seconds down, which isn't too bad for Heroic, especially from what we've seen so far in the series, let alone this map number 3. Finally gets around that corner. It's just trying to float around. He knows the team is going to be chasing him, and once again, he's just trying to go on this long journey around, reunite with his teammates later, but the key is finally going to be dropped.
There's going to be PH Zin, I believe, that was able to pick that up. It was actually Frosty. PH Zin continuing with the aggression. Kurtz has it now. The regroup comes through. Frosty takes out Fordoxy, but you got to be careful now. Hellfire coming through, picks up 1, picks up 2, and it looks like Heroic might just be able to clean this one up.
Yeah, they're answering back perfectly in quick succession. They don't want to let W7M pull too far away to where it becomes a very, very close. And if you notice the scoreboard, Heroic was actually able to pull away with that round 1 victory over W7M. So they need to figure out a way to stop this right now, because Hellfire is doing exactly what he did in that last match, along with the help of Kiro, just running around and wasting time.
And he's doing it perfectly. He wasted a good 3 seconds there. That's 3 points, and we saw it came down to literally the point in the first round. So every second matters. Frosty now goes down. Kiro with the quick 2-piece, and it looks like the Heroic roster is fully grouped up now. The squad is together. This is dangerous for W7M.
EMP barely hitting the bubble shield, making sure Hellfires keeps his shield intact, but a couple of trades going in way of W7M. Kurtz with 26 eliminations goes down without using the utility, and that's a great opportunity for Heroic because they were just shut down. You see the mad scramble from Sayun trying to bring the flag out, but it's Thomas HD, the one that stops him short and gets the key back for Heroic.
That's how quickly the tables can turn, as Hellfire now making his way to one of those prime positions, grouping up once again with Fredoxy. This is exactly what they need. There's only 30 seconds left in this second round, so even if they're unable to make it to 150, they just need to get as many points as possible, and Hellfire is doing the perfect job at it.
And just like that, it's going to be over. 20 seconds left. They need more than 20 seconds to climb back on the side of W7M. And with that, Heroic is going to be able to take out W7M in map number 3. Quick 2-0 with a big comeback in round number 1.
That was an incredibly close match. You can see it's not even full celebrations from Heroic from how close that was. I'm almost speechless, Jacob, and I could not be more excited for the rest of the matches.
Literally just enough time for Heroic to win that first round. And I got to give credit again, W7 esports. In a round that I thought they were going to be able to fall flat, you kind of let that mentality get the best of you for how close you were to actually winning. They showed up yet again in that round number 2. They got so close to actually getting the elimination, but it's just the consistently just falling short.
Look, the issue here for W7M is now they are going to be back on to capture the flag on Panther, which is Heroic's pick. And we saw the domination from Heroic through the most recent capture the flag map. So if they want to have a chance to get back to hardpoint, they're going to have to win a capture the flag.
And it's not going to be easy. You saw how kind of like dominated. It was like kind of 2-0. But in terms of how well Heroic actually played that the capture the flag, it really wasn't that close. It was just domination. W7M didn't really have a flag that went out, let alone far enough to even think they were going to get a capture. And you can kind of see a lot of these trades, a lot of these plays. As it went on, Heroic's teamwork was just too much. And now that we're going back to CTF on Panther, especially Panther being the CTF, where it requires a ton of teamwork to even get onto the map for any control, let alone getting that flag out.
Yeah, it's a devastating loss on Keeper, to be fair. It was literally down to the millisecond on that first round, so you can see how it is affecting W7M, but this is where mentality matters the most. Although they had a tragic loss on the first capture the flag match, they saw and showed that they were more than capable enough to beat the winning team here on hardpoint, even on Keeper. So although it did go Heroic's way, if W7M is able to lock in, put their head in the game, and somehow make a comeback in this capture the flag match, we're going to have a series.
Yeah, especially since it's a different mode altogether. But Hardpoint, they've shown that they can go toe-to-toe with Heroic. When it comes to the capture the flag, though, they fall short of knowing when to go somewhere after the elimination, to who to fall back to, where to rotate to. Those are the little intricacies that W7M is lacking. But on a map like Panther, to where there's kind of, 3 big lanes, only 3 rotations you can make. One of them is going to be straight across. One of them is going to be through the middle. And one of them teams normally just don't take overall. You're cutting down the amount of strategy needed. So once you get those eliminations, it's going to be more straightforward for them. And I wouldn't say easier, don't want to use that phrasing, but yeah, in theory, it would be a little bit easier for them to get the flag out if they can get the eliminations that they're looking for.
Yeah, and to be fair, W7M looked very comfortable on Panther for hardpoint. So although they didn't look comfortable in terms of the capture the flag mode, they were on Panther. So maybe this will be a whole different realm from them now. I don't know, Jay. I have no clue. I am completely just 50-50 right now on who's going to be able to take this home. I hope the mentality is staying strong on both teams because I want to have a good match here.
So do I. It's just kind of one of those things to where for W7M, you have all the potential in the world. You have a huge ceiling. You even showed it here. that you can go toe-to-toe with a team like Heroic, who, remember, I mentioned at one point in time, they were arguably one of the best teams before DreamHack Dallas. So if you could manage to kind of continue to mimic that, create some consistency, especially on a map that you won, may not be the same mode, there could be moments that we see W7M potentially force a game number 5. And then we go back to Hardpoint to where they did actually get their first map victory.
Look, not only this, but even looking back to our first match, Xset versus Dragons. Dragons, if you're not familiar, is the other team that qualified through Brazil representing Argentina. They almost took out Xset in Hardpoint. They were 4 points away. It was 244 against 250. Basically 6-point difference on Hardpoint. CTF went down to almost overtime. It was incredibly close. And now W7M against another top European team, showing that Latin America is able to compete against the best of the best. So it all comes down to this, Jacob. Thomas HD already cracked, just one shot away from getting eliminated. Kurtz is going to get the first elim onto Thomas. That's first blood. Hellfire gets cracked as well. Frosty now continues with the push. You can see that the confidence is here for W7M.
Yeah, that's a big elim, because you talk about some of those other eliminations around the map. Sayun going in by himself, but again, stop short. Kurt knows. I love this play by Kurt. Instead of pushing forward, wasting your life, you do have some utility in your grenade, you just backtrack. Play with your teammates. You maybe even bait it out, because I'm not sure if they know PHZin is even there.
I don't think they do. They did a good job of regrouping here. Thomas now put into danger, panicking as he gets taken out. But at the same time, PHZin is going to be looking for another elimination, and he picks up for Doxy. Now player advantage onto W7M, but you have to be careful as Hellfire is not going to make it easy.
Every second he does stay alive here makes it kind of harder for W7M to push in, especially since they do trade out, get the elimination. Shield gets cracked. Confident gets built up. Sayun gets one, but he goes down, so his position on the map almost a moot point as Kurtz and PHZin still holding that top center control. And Hellfire's going down. They just continuously forcing this side of the fight, which gives them a little bit of advantage because of the top center.
All they have to do is keep the pressure on here and just win out these battles. But Thomas HD is going to take out PHZin. This is huge for Heroic, unless Kurtz has something to say. He
either didn't say it or he didn't say it loud enough. One of those two things. But Heroic, again, this is just one of those teams at Heroic to where once they push out towards the middle map, maybe even your base, they're just a little bit more approachable in certain situations. But once you're forced to go that little bit extra deep into their spawn, that's when things tighten up. It almost becomes near impossible for them to get broken through. But for Doxy fall, Kira, luckily enough, was able to get one elimination to keep it at a 3v3.
I'm kind of sensing a bit of fear from Heroic compared to the first capture the flag match we did see, though. It was pure domination, and now W7M have been the leaders in terms of aggression here as Kira takes the jump, gets the shot connected by Sayun. Second one connected as well, but it's not enough to take out for Doxy, as now once again they are going to be forced to regroup. PHZin gets sniped. Frosty is cracked. Kurtz has already been eliminated, and this could be Heroic's shot to turn the tables around.
Yeah, almost a snipe saving opportunity for Doxy. Even the body shots that he doesn't get credit for in terms of those eliminations mean so much. He's just respawning up, gets those audio visuals. Another snipe is going to connect. Hellfire cleans up yet another one. Heroic in the form of Thomas feeling brave enough to overextend, try to get on towards that flag and have a potential opportunity.
For Doxy somehow is able to take out Kurtz, the ring around the shield bubble, closing it out. But PHZin is going to revenge his duo partner. Kiro, though, getting close to PHZin, gets cracked by Frosty, gets fully eliminated. But Hellfire is going to be able to get the cap. 1-0 for Heroic. And not only that, the first capture, which means they do have that advantage if it comes to overtime, but is PHZin going to be able to tie it up?
Yeah, counter cap opportunity almost instantly happening. They were seconds, they were inches short of stopping that flag capture opportunity. They got the elimination regardless and now have a flag capture opportunity themselves. But multiple members of Heroic, starting with Kiro, are behind enemy lines and they get the elimination. They get the return. And if you've got that elimination, that would have been a counter cap opportunity. But Sayun finally shuts down Kiro.
That is tragic for W7m. They were so close to taking it home. Now all they have is 55 seconds to make the comeback for overtime. Thomas HD with an elimination as well, allowing them to push closer and closer.
Yeah, this is only the first half, so there's going to be a whole second half here, but W7m, but doesn't mean it's going to get any bit easier, especially with PHN going down. Hellfire leaving the stress with 30 seconds left. Every elimination that Heroic gets makes it one step closer for them being unable to capture here in the first half.
Puro playing good angles here. Sayun has already been cracked as he's looking for a shot here. You can hear the footsteps come through, and you can see them on the screen if you're these players. Fredoxy does go down. Frosty now allowing himself to go up a bit closer. EMP to take out that shield bubble and finish off Thomas HD.
10 seconds left. Nothing to do but to pad a couple stats here and gets a couple more eliminations. The little victories, the little confidence boosters at the end of some of these rounds, and W7m has to start formulating a strategy. They are going to switch sides. So there is going to be, I think, a little bit of an advantage for Heroic if they do get that top map control. But if W7m can run the center of the map, try to force the fights over on that side of things, that'll nullify any top center control.
Yeah, I mean, that was incredibly close overall. They were almost able to tie that up in the last second, but all they need is one more cap in this second half, and we're already starting off.
No time wasted. Just looking at the mini-map right now, it does look like a heavy focus from W7m towards that statue. A little bit more mid-presence for Heroic on the other side. Kind of testing things out. Figuring out what is right, what is wrong. Hellfire instantly gets the help he needs along with Thomas to get that elimination. 2 more going their way. Heroic is only going to lose 2 members as well, so it's going to be a 2-2 trade.
Sayun now recuperating that HP, looking to connect the snipe, but unable to do so. Fredoxy now with the quick elim, PH in, disengaging. Kurtz ending some nice shots though, as Fredoxy's been cracked now.
The early Lambo control over on the other side. Not going to be able to do too much with that one as Sayun just quickly trying to backtrack in his base, clear his side of the map first, especially with PH and Kurtz going down. He knows he has to be very, very careful and approach the situation with caution.
Thomas HD gets knocked out as well. Frosty now with the quick elimination. Fredoxy's low, but Frosty from the backside gets taken out. Hellfire with another. As Kiro's going to continue to push towards PH in here. The 2v1 is not going to be easy. As PH in just one shot away from getting eliminated, but the shots are going to connect from W7m. And now, once again, they will have that option to push on forwards.
Yeah, this is what I was saying. W7m needs to figure out a way to force the fight on the other side of the map. Nullify that top center control. Because Heroic, when they have control of that top center, they see directly into the base, onto the frag. W7m, if they have top center control, they see a spawn point on the other side. Not much to work with.
This is not good for W7m, though. Kiro is going to get that elimination. Thomas HD picked up 2. They have the player advantage. They have the positioning advantage. But it looks like Sayun and PA are not going to let it slide too easily.
And quickly relays that one on over to Hellfire. Infiltrator, he gets the little bit of the movement boost. He gets the capture 2-0. Heroic, less than 3 minutes left. W7m are on a clock, and that clock is ticking down fast.
Yeah, there's no third half. There's the last chance to make something happen for W7m. They'll need at least 2 flag captures. They have 2 minutes and 40 seconds to do so. If they make it happen, it's going to be quite the comeback.
And we've seen some miracles happen so far, particularly in that last keeper with Heroic coming back with the perfect hold with that key. Now W7m, it's got to figure out where they're going to find that opening from. 2 minutes might not seem like a lot of time, but a couple failed pushes, that 2 minutes will be gone very, very quickly as Sayun looks on over, gets one. 1v1 against Thomas, though. He's going to fail to win that one, which keeps the confidence and the ball rolling for Heroic.
3 respawns going to be coming in from W7m as Thomas is forced now to disengage. Will they see him? They will now as he takes some shots. Thomas goes down, and so does PH in, which is going to kind of even up the playing field.
1 minute and 50. Time moving very, very quickly. W7m fresh off the respawn. Sayun is just waiting for his teammates to come back. Doesn't want to make any individual plays by himself, but over the top, he takes down Thomas. Tries to go back-to-back with Hellfire, but he wins a win and crucial fight because now everybody on W7m has to worry about him. You see PH Zin backtracking. He dodges that one, but Kurtz is going to get the flag out. This is W7m's only hope.
Sayun got an elimination as well onto Hellfire. Thomas takes out Frosty, though. Hero takes out PH Zin. It's a player advantage for Heroic. Will Kurtz be able to make it in time? Do they even have the flag?
Are they crashing into the middle? Bubble Shield trying to save the day. Multiple members of Heroic are taking the space all around them, but they're not going to be able to stop Kurtz. He gets the flag in, but it's still 2-1. Heroic still have a lead, and there's only about 60 seconds left.
Are we about to witness the comeback of the century? 55 seconds left. W7m one capture away from tying things up for overtime, but Kurtz has to be careful. He gets cracked here. Fully healthy Heroic roster making their way back in.
And Kurtz needs to wait for his team to show up. He goes down. Sayun follows as well. All they were really able to get with Thomas is Frosty's trying to overextend, doing what he can to draw the attention to him, so that way his teammates can at least get some map control, but he did not buy them enough time. Kiro already beat them to the punch.
Yeah, he's going to take out PH Zin as well. Kurtz will be able to get the trade, but if Ferdoxy lands this shot, it's going to be devastating for W7m. Kurtz cannot afford to go down. Thomas HD gets the elimination. 15 seconds are left. They would need a miracle to take this one home.
Down seconds, mere seconds left. All they can really do is just kind of pad a little bit of those stats. You finally see the smiles. You see the happiness on the side of Heroic. It may have taken 4 maps, but they still closed out the series 3-1, are in prime position in their pool.
Look, although Heroic took this home, I need to give a round of applause to not only W7m, but both the Brazilian teams competing today. Dragons putting up a fight against XSET. W7m putting